Recording in progress.
Let's do the full limitless contemplation. Have you got, doesn't matter if you haven't, we'll just do it. It's just the full limitless. There we are. Great. Thanks, Kat. May all beings have happiness and create the causes of happiness. May they all be free from suffering and creating the causes of suffering. May they find that noble happiness which can never be tainted by suffering. May they attain universal impartial compassion, free of worldly bias towards friends and enemies. Semjen damje dewatang dewe jutang denpa jutik. Dungal tang dungal chichu tang trawa jutik. Dungal mepe dewa tampa tang mindra wajutik. Nering chak tang ni tang trawe tang nom chempola ne pa jutik. Before you take it away, you know, if you look at this prayer, there's so many aspects to it. But what's important in terms of the subject we're going to be talking about is that second part, create the causes of happiness, create the causes of suffering. Those two, may beings be free from suffering, those show us that we are the creators of the causes of suffering. Nothing outside of us makes us suffer. We are the creators, and it's really important. And when you find that noble happiness, when you find these 5 dimensions of being, it's really important, because that's that noble happiness where you're free of worldly bias. So it's really such an important prayer in many, many ways. Thank you, Kati, very much. You did beautifully tonight. So we were fine. So hi, everybody. Hi, Linz. Hi, Esty. Nice to see you. So we're going to carry on with the fascination of understanding the 5 dimensions of being. This is the 3rd part, and we'll do a 4th part, but I really want to dance into it today because I think it's one of the most important things. And I want to start with a story. It's an old story, but I really think it's very appropriate for this. A learned scholar set forth on a long and difficult sea journey. Desiring to impress the crew with the depths of his learning, he would stop and question the simple sailors as they went about their duty. "Tell me, my good man," he would ask a sailor, "have you studied philosophy?" The sailor would answer, "Oh no, I'm just a simple sailor. I only know how to sail the ship from one shore to the other." The scholar would reply, "You poor man, you've wasted half your life." The following day he would again question the sailor, "Have you studied geometry, my good man?" The sailor would reply again, "No, I'm sorry, sir, I just rig the sails and steer the ship." The scholar again would shake his head in despair and say only, "You poor fellow, dwelling in ignorance, you are wasting much of your life." Day after day the questions would go on. "Have you studied geometry, anthropology, zoology, psychology?" And the sailors could only shake their head in denial. One night, the ship foundered in a storm. The scholar anxiously watched the crashing waves and held tightly to the mast. The sailor approached the scholar and asked him, "Have you, my good man, by any chance studied swimology?" Have you studied swimology? In puzzlement, the scholar could only shake his head. "That really is too bad," said the sailor. "You have wasted your whole life, for the ship is sinking, and you haven't studied swimology." Okay, now, why did I use that? I like to find a story that sets the tone for everything. And because this one I love, because when we wake up to who we really are, and we start living our earthly temporary embodiments in a certain way that we don't know what we really are relating to just with the intellect, okay? We have to start relating to the essence of our being rather than the temporary coarse expression. We need to know the pure expression, and it is only pure expression. It's going to dissolve again, but it is only pure expression. Intellect might help us to negotiate the rivers of samsara, but when push comes to shove and this transient life ends, none of that is even relevant in any way. The only thing that counts at that moment is your ability to swim into your true dimension, literally to swim into your true dimension. And they are right there when all the physical remains fade into oblivion, and with that, all the things that we always attach to, our families, our lives, our homes, everything is gone, and then all we've got is who we really are. And if we dance, and I'm using that word, not swimming, if we dance with the energy of our 5 true dimensions now and not their perversions, because in order to understand this, you have to understand that most of our normal living is with perversions. We don't even know that they're perversion, but most of our normal living is with perversions, okay? And it's as easy as saying, what a pity I didn't learn to swim with my true unpolluted energies, and right now they're too difficult to recognize. We knew them before, and I'm drowning back into samsara. Now look at what the majority of people do at death, okay? Right at death, you have your first opportunity to recognize your essence, the clear light, the essence, no expression, just the essence. Most of us haven't even thought about the essence, never mind recognize it. We can't see the beautiful blue, complete essence. So if we can't get it, then we go to the next phase of dying. And the next phase of dying is when we see the pure expression. It's not that somebody's holding a puppet and showing us all these different Buddha families. And maybe you won't see it as Buddha families. Doesn't really matter. If you're another religion, you might see it as pure beings. You may not see them as Buddhas, because Buddhas are only awakened beings. It doesn't matter how you see them. If you want to see them in a Christian way, in a Jewish way, in a Muslim way, doesn't really matter. But in the next phase of dying, this dimension projects these 5 dimensions. And for people, looking at those 5 dimensions for the first time is really scary, because they are extremely bright, they are extremely loud, not loud in the ears, but loud in the sound of what we call Dhammata, and they are extremely overwhelming if you don't know what they are and you've never ever looked at them. They can be really overwhelming. So many people miss those first 2 phases, faint, and then wake up in the third bardo, the third phase. And in the third phase, your mind automatically puts forward everything that was in your alaya consciousness. So if you had a lot of beautiful, meritorious imprints in your alaya consciousness, then that last phase won't be very scary. But if you had a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment, a lot of depression, a lot of all these kind of things, and by the time you come to that phase and it's showing to you. Now, I used to have all these dreams of going to people when they were in this third bardo. People get really scared in this pure bardo. It's not God or anyone else showing you. It's just your own mind, the mirror of your mind reflecting all your things, because the alaya consciousness is the only thing that goes with you. So a lot of people get scared about their unresolved imprints, the perversions. And so what a lot of people do is they try and they dive into another incarnation because they're so afraid. And of course, what's going to happen when we said, may all beings not have suffering or create the causes of suffering. But what happens is that if you haven't resolved it, you go straight into a family that's going to show you this straight away. And it's not your bad family, it's your own creation. So think about this. Think about how important it is that this 5 dimensions of being is available to us. And we can really, really, really learn it. And secondly, when you feel for one of the families, when you feel for one of the families that we're going to start creating tonight, when you feel for one, that is generally the one that you relate to with all your being. Now someone phoned me last week and said, can you have a relationship with more than one of the Buddha families, the one of the awakened dimensions? I said, of course you can, because you have a relationship with all 5. But there's one special one that you feel. Now, what Irini Rockwell has done, which is amazing, is she's taken the characteristics of these families to enable you to actually tell, oh my goodness, these are my characteristics, because they are earthly characteristics that happen with the dimension that you are most attracted to and you are most involved with. Although there can also be with a few, you can have a relationship with a few, but basically you actually have one that is really yours. For me, it is 100% clear, the one that I have the relationship with. And when I look at my qualities that I've got in my earthly body, in my earthly life, it's so clear, because I feel a belonging to the Lotus family. And then you look at the male Buddha and the female Buddha, and you start relating with their energy. And then she shows you that if you belong to the Lotus family, you definitely are a communicator. You definitely are a person that perceives things. You definitely are quite a dynamic kind of person that is going to attract people and magnetize people, because those are the qualities. But then, there are the perversion of those qualities. So when we look at the perversions of those qualities, we begin to realize, oh my goodness, if I can relate and see that I have perverted them. So for example, what I'm telling you about the Lotus family is people who belong to the Lotus family, they have a tremendous amount of personality, a kind of a charisma, a kind of a communicative thing. But the perversion is that they can be very possessive in their ideas, and they can be insistent that they have their own way, and the perversion can be very desirous and absolutely wanting things their own way. Now, when you understand the perversions of the family, you know what you have to work on. It's way beyond psychology, okay? It's much, much deeper. And also for those of you that didn't like the family you came into, or found it really not the way you are, you're grateful for that. But now, in this part of your life, you start developing your feeling for your real family, where you're going to go back afterwards, and where you are going to try and develop the qualities of that family rather than the perversions, which I'm going to go through. I don't want to give you too much information about the 5. I've been doing this for years, okay? So I have got stuff you can't believe. And I mean, I've looked at Irini Rockwell, who does, you can look at her book. I'll tell you what the name of her book is, if I can find the name. It's actually a very interesting book because it tells you about relationships and how your relationships work with the 5 dimensions of being. It tells you how to use the energy. I'll find the name of her book just now. I've got so much stuff here for you. I'll find it for you. But anyway, Irene Rockwell wrote this book, and she puts how each family, each dimension, like how you are related, how you would get on. Like if 2 Lotus people get together, they're going to conflict like anything, Not yet, I'll tell you in a minute or two. Now what I want to do with all of you is that when I taught this to my Monday morning group, and some of you were there, they all said, we want a chart, we want a chart, we want a chart, okay? So we can see all the things. And I said, no, I want you not to relate to this in a chart. I want you to feel this. However, I know how human beings are, and we do have a chart, okay? So at the end, we can look at the chart later, but at the end, Kathy can put the chart up if you want to take it home and you want to have it, and you can copy it, can't you, once it's up or whatever. But in any case, the chart is helpful when you start. But for me, the starting point is using the prayers on a daily basis, short prayers, bardo prayers. And then eventually you start relating to each of the bardo prayers. And then, like for instance, I've been doing this for years, and I'm going to put the prayers up in a minute. I just want to give you some of the perversions. But like, I've been doing prayers from this book for a very long time. From Dzogchen deity practice. You can see how bad the book looks because I use it so much. My thing, like my Guru Yoga, is falling apart. It's got all loose pages, and I've tried to tie them together. But I'll never let these go, because I think that the fact that they're in such bad condition shows you how often I use them on a daily basis. But just for example, I want to just give you an example how I create with the 5 Buddhas, because every day I do this prayer, and it's got all the primordial consciousness in it. But for example, I go like this, okay? And I say it in English. I do it in English, which is really very, very helpful. But I say, just for example, when I'm going to the Vajra family, it goes, hum. Within the space palace of the vase, awareness, the assembly of peaceful and wrathful victorious ones, melts into light. And with this wisdom nectar, empowering the fortunate child, may all impure perceptions be purified, and all the natures of vessel and its content be pure. Then it gives you the actual transmission, and then it goes, the water fills your body and purifies stains. Now, automatically, you know that the Vajra family is associated with water. So when I'm doing this, I imagine, and the color of that family is white. So I imagine this pure white water going over my body and purifying me. You don't have to do this. I'm just giving you an example, but I'm just telling you. Imagine that the aggregate of consciousness is transmuted. So of all the aggregates of what make up your ego, the consciousness, when you take the Vajra family and you take the white water over you, the consciousness is transmuted completely and totally. And then it says, and the seed of accomplishing Vajra Akshobhya is planted in your being. Now, I'm not asking you to do this. I've been doing this for a lot of years. I'm just giving you an example. So I go through each of the families, and it tells you what the element is and how this element cleanses you, and how you can go into the perversion. So, you start to dance with this. That's what I want you to do. I just read you one example. I'm not asking you to do that. Just to have a good idea. I want you to dance with this. I want you to know this. And how I did it in the beginning was just to do the Bardo prayers, which I'm going to put up, and we're going to do them together. And then I learned after a while to take those Bardo prayers and expand on them. And I expanded on them. So often when I'm saying them, I say a lot more than is in the prayer, because I make myself remember. And then when I go into the shower at night, every single night, I always do the mantras of the five families of the 5 Buddhas. And when I do, I always go like, I'll go Om Varajana Om, and then I'll go in the shower. Om Varajana Om Varajana Om Varajana Om. Please flood me with your beautiful, all-accomplishing wisdom and clear ignorance and delusion. So, now I know them. So I know what to ask for. So I say them every single day, and they become clearer and clearer and clearer in my mind. And that's what I want to teach you. I know that you can't do this because it took me a long, long time to be able to do this, but you could start to relate to it. So I'm just going to give you the few things in the perversions, and then I'm going to open it for a question. And please ask your questions. Don't hold back. It doesn't matter how silly your questions are, because if you can't relate to this with your heart, if you can't dance with it, if you can't expand it, if you can't take the energy and play with it, then you'll never get it. You'll just have a chart of, oh, these are the 5 Buddhas. These are the 5 families. This is what they represent. These are their perversions. You don't want that. You want to feel it in your being so that you start living it. Can you all understand what I'm saying? And I want you to feel excited about it, the way I'm doing it. Because I can't do it. I once did a retreat on the 5 families. I once did a retreat. Some of you might have been there. I don't know. Were you there, Di? Good. And you know what I did was I bought these glasses and I put different colored cellophane paper over the glasses. So, and I built a mandala, and then everybody had to dance into the mandala with the family, the color of the family they thought. So when they had red for the Lotus family, white for the Vajra family, green for the Karma family, they would dance into the corners of the mandala and find their real space, their real self. I don't want to do this as a theoretical thing because it doesn't go anywhere. I want you to be excited, and I don't care if I get 5, 10 texts a day. Melanie, this is what happened to me. Does this relate to this? I'll be so happy to answer that because I want you to live this so that by the time you die, when you come to the second bardo, you're going to go, oh my God, before I get to the other crap in the third bardo, here are all the families. They first come beautifully towards you. And as soon as you can say, that's it. That's my Vajra family. That's my Karma family. That's my Buddha family. You're out. You don't have to go back. You're out. You're in the family. It's the best insurance policy you can take out. And after the five beautiful families have come towards you, then come the semi-wrathful and the wrathful deities. And some of you may say, wrathful deities? What are wrathful deities? Why would there be horrible deities? And then I'll say, because you often need a clap. Okay, they come to wake you. If you look deeply at the wrathful one, they really are pure. But they come with 5 faces, claws, fangs, heads, swords, skulls, all kinds of things, because they want to say, hey, wake up, And if you wake up, they become beautiful immediately, because there isn't anything such a wrathful except your own wrathful energy. Okay, and now I'm shocking all of you, but that's what I want to do. Okay, I want to do it because I want you to wake up. And the people that are going to watch it, hello Eugene, you'll have to go to the beginning, you watch it. But let's just go through the 5 skandhas and how they fit into this whole equation. Okay, this is the one chart that I had of all the details of the families and everything. I've got lots of charts for you, but I'm very reluctant to give them to you in any way or any form because I don't want you to hang on to them. But anyway, let's look at these. So, when we go to the 5 skandhas that make up your ego, I want you to know these 5 skandhas because this is what the Buddha taught. The Buddha taught these 5 aggregates that make up your ego, that make up Melody, Kathy, Diane, everybody. These five skandhas or 5 aggregates is what you believe to be real. But they aren't. He said they're just interdependent things and you believe that's who you are. So when you take the 5 skandhas, you've got your form, which goes away, your feelings, which are nothing, no thing. They're just feelings. They're not made of anything. You might be depressed today. You might be angry. You might be disappointed. You might be sad. They are nothing except interdependent causes and conditions. Your form, your feelings, then comes your perception. You know that. When you feel something, you perceive it. If somebody's annoyed you, then your perception, if you've got anger, is that's an ugly person and how dare they do it to me. Your perceptions are just based on your karmic causes. They're nothing. Form, feeling, perceptions, based on your own karmic history, what your parents taught you as well. Mental formations, which are your habits. Because once you keep perceiving things, you then get mental habits. And those habits stick with you and you do them all the time. And finally, your consciousness, which we talked about last time, 8 levels, 5 sense consciousnesses. You can go back to that talk. The mind consciousness that labels what you see, here, think, all of that, the thinking. And then the klesha consciousness, which is when you put your ego, I want this, I need this, and all of that. And then your alaya consciousness, where all your imprints are from that lifetime. So those 5, form, feelings, know them like the back of your hand. Don't go and look them up. So that as you're doing them, you are identified. Form, feelings, perceptions, mental habits, and consciousness. That's the 5 skandhas. Now, each of these skandhas is the perversion of a particular enlightened dimension, which we'll go through in a moment. So each one, if you look at the lotus family that I've been talking about, because that's the one I know the best, the lotus family are perceivers, perceptions, but their perceptions need to have clarity and need to be pure, not the perceptions of your karmic history and the things you desire and the things you want and who you're getting back on and all that, not those perceptions. So the lotus family with their red color purifies those perceptions. Each of these skandhas belongs to a beautiful one of the dimensions. And when you start to relate to them, you start to see which one belongs to which thing. And so when I'm doing my prayers, I can see which belongs to the mental habits, which belongs to the form, which belongs to this. You see it and then you get it because now you're starting to relate, not to the perversion. So the 5 aggregates or skandhas are 5 of the first perversions. The second perversions are the poisons. Okay, now the poisons are what we use. First of all, there are 84,000 emotions, but there are 5 main emotions, out of which all the others come. So all your emotions, so the 5 emotions are ignorance or delusion, which is when you ignore the truth or you delude yourself with a story. Ignorance or delusion. Anger, hatred, grudges, all of them, all of the things that go with anger. You know, when you let the anger can go then into murder or punishment or court cases. So anger's the second one, and everything comes out of it. The third one is pride or arrogance, okay? And pride or arrogance, you can hear it, because when you hear pride or arrogance, it's someone who says, how dare you do this to me? No, I'm not going to do that work. It's too beneath my dignity. So you can tell what the wisdom is going to be, because the wisdom, the perversion is pride. You can tell that the wisdom of equality is the truth, because the wisdom of equality says there's no difference between all beings, not even an insect, not even these 2 dogs lying and listening in their sleep state. We are all equal because we all have Buddha nature. So you can see how pride, you learn to relate to it in a very creative way, how pride is the perversion of the wisdom or the equalizing wisdom, which says everyone's got Buddha nature. So what have you got pride about? So the pride dissolves. It just dissolves completely. Like sometimes I have these wonderful discussions with my domestic worker. She's got such wisdom from her mother that I love it. Okay, I love it, you know. And she knows that I do counseling, that I do teaching, but she's always telling me what attitude to have towards something, you know. Like if something's happening and she sees it on television, she says, you know, I don't understand these people, why they've got this attitude. And, you know, you should have this attitude. Like, you know, I spent my whole life developing this attitude, but she's telling me what attitude I should have. But I love it. I love it because I think to myself, you know, isn't it amazing that this woman who's had such a little education has got that wisdom that she can advise me how I should look after people and what I should do and everything. I could look at that like, how dare you? I've got a much better education. No, no, no. The wisdom of equality says, you don't know who's sitting in front of you. You don't know who they are. Each one is a Buddha. Never undermine them, because your pride will take you away from the truth of the wisdom of equality. And then, so you've got ignorance or delusion, anger, and all the things that go with it, pride, and you know, you need to have humility. And the fourth one is craving, attachment, and the passions, which automatically goes with the lotus family. That you've got that craving, that desire, the passions, the wanting. That is the fourth one, out of which all the other cravings and everything come out of it. And fifthly, the envy and jealousy. Now, envy and jealousy is very, very interesting, because if you take the perversion, envy and jealousy, it's so interesting, because why are people jealous? People are jealous because someone else or envious is doing better than them. But the wisdom of perfected action, of which the perversion is envy and jealousy, the wisdom of perfected action says, you shall do it when you've acquired the merit and the wisdom to do it. Therefore, if somebody is doing better than you should go and glean from them. You should be celebratory of them. You shouldn't be jealous and envious. Jealousy and envy is an ego thing. You should be so happy you're coming across with them. You should go and sit at their desk and say, you know what? I'm your apprentice. I want to learn from you everything you know. See that in this job you pour it all into me. That would be the difference between being jealous and envious, going to someone who has the wisdom of perfected action. That's the karma family. It's green, because jealousy is green, but green is also for the lush of the plants, and that's the beautiful karma family. So it depends what you are going to use. We can look at Eugene tonight. He's in the karma family tonight with his green shirt and the beautiful background and everything. We really like it. Okay, so those 5 poisons, when you transmute them, they become the 5 wisdoms, which I'll go through each one. I've told you a few. I'll go through each one. They become the 5. They are the 5 wisdoms. So if you looked at anger, if you look deeply, why is this angry person in front of me? Why are they giving me such a terrible time? Why is this person taking me to court? I hate them. Why are they doing it to me? Look at me. I'm innocent, and look what they're doing to me. Incorrect. You have to say, when you look at the real dimensions of life, how did I create this situation? Because you created it. You created it from your own karma. And what is it that I'm learning? And then you say, aha, the perversion of anger is mirror-like wisdom. And what's mirror-like wisdom? It's taking a mirror and it's seeing, what is this mirror showing me? What is it reflecting to me? And when you can see that, the anger dissolves straight away. It's the only way. You know, when people come and say, Melanie, do you do anger management? I go, what? Anger management. You know, I don't know when you were training, Kerry, but when I was training, you know, we were taught that if you had a cushion in front of you and you were angry, pound the cushion with your fist. Pound the cushion. Let the client pound the cushion, you know. What a stupid idea. Okay, stupid, because you know what you're doing when you're pounding the cushion. You are increasing the perversion rather than seeing what the mirror-like wisdom is showing you. Do you all understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And when you really go into this, and I know some of you have, like I know you, Mimi, have gone into these 5 families a lot. Okay, so is Molly, so is Linda, a few of you, so is Eugene. A lot of you have gone into these 5. And you need to start asking yourself, am I using this? Am I putting this to practice? Am I understanding this? Because just to come to the last 5 that I'm talking about in the ordinary consciousness is the 5 elements. Now, if you look at the elements are fascinating. Okay, now Irini Rockwell, if you read her book, I'll give you the title of her book. Sure, but I can't remember the title. But I've got it written down and I'll come across it in a minute, I'm sure. Is it not in here where she's got all her things? Just let me see. Because in her, she's fascinating. Because in her book, she really talks about the elements and how they are when you start looking at what the elements are. Now think of it. If you take the Ratna family, you know, when I hear the word Ratna family, I know immediately that's the wisdom of equality. Soon as I hear the word Ratna family, I know it's yellow. Why is it yellow? Because it's associated with the element earth. So you start working creative. So the earth, the Ratna family, if you belong to the Ratna family, you've got the earth element. If somebody's got the earth element really clear, they're very generous. They're very giving. If you go into a Ratna person's home, you'll walk in, what can I give you to drink? Come and eat this. Why don't you sit down? What can I do for you? That's how Ratna people are. Okay. Sorry, is it the Five Wisdom Energies? Her book. No, I'll get it for you, my baby. I know I've got it here somewhere, and I will find it. I actually put it aside so I could give you the name of her book. It's a very, very interesting book. I will find it for you and give it. Otherwise, I'll post it onto the thing if I can't find it now. I know I can't remember the name because I read it long ago and took extensive, and I know I took the page with her things in, but I just can't find that page. Hang on one sec. If you just give me a moment, I've got so many things in here of everybody, of all the stuff I'm teaching. I don't know where it is. It's in one of these pages because I brought absolutely everything in here for all of you so that I can access everything. I don't know where it is, that page. I'll give you the name. I don't think it's called the Five Wisdom Energies. It's called something else. If I don't find it, Care, I'll post it I'll put it on my WhatsApp group, okay? But if you look at a Ratna person, it's so interesting, Marion, I love to see you. It's so nice. If you look at a Ratna person, they're very, very generous. Now, what do you think the perversion is? There's a perversion. It's when they've got pride and they want to control you and they want to dominate you and they want to, and I know quite a few people like that who are very generous and very giving. But there's always a price. You all got to do it in a particular way. You've all got to stand together so they can take photos of the family. You've all got to do exactly what they want. They can be very, very controlling in their generosity and in their earth element. And the color is yellow because the earth is yellow. You feel it in your bones. You know what it is, okay? And pride is their downfall. So when you play with these, it's so fascinating. It's really, really, really fascinating. So the 5 elements is a very interesting thing because the 5 elements are earth, water, fire, air, and space. Okay? And when you look at those 5, if you have got purified elements, if your elements are not coarse, then there are 5 female Buddhas. Now you go, 5 female Buddhas, what does that mean? It doesn't matter if you don't relate to the word Buddha, but the 5 female Buddhas are the purified elements. If the elements are coarse, they can have negative impacts on things. If you've got too much wind or you've got too much earth or you've got too much space and you spaced out, then the elements can be coarse and distorted. But when they're pure, you could see which families they go with. Because it's really like the lotus family that I've been telling you about. The element is fire. Now think about fire. Fire can light you. Fire can warm you. Fire can magnetize you. But fire can burn you. So it is a question of your balance of the elements, okay? So each of those elements, when they're purified, they become the 5 female Buddhas. Each thing is so amazing. The skandhas, form, feelings, perceptions, habits, and conscious, when they are purified, they become the 5 Buddhas. So you learn the names of the 5 Buddhas and you say them over and over again. And that's how you learn. Kathy, put on first, the aspiration prayer for deliverance from the dangerous passage. And let's all say it together. Okay, if you can, Kati. Sorry, I should have told you I was coming to that. So that you can see, because this is how you start. This is how you start learning. And it takes time, everybody. And it's really important that you try and you read and you study and you start relating to it all. It's really very, very interesting. So if you can give us that prayer. Are you having a battle? And then after that, I'm going to do Patro Rinpoche's one, so that you start with this and you say this on a daily basis. And the mantras I'll give you, anybody wants them, I'll give them. Okay?
Is it this?
Let me see.
Is that the one now?
Yes, that's exactly what I want. Great. Thanks, Kathy. Can we all say this together very carefully? Aspiration prayer for the deliverance from the dangerous passage of the Bardo. Now, this is when you've died. And this prayer should be, I say this off by heart every day so that I remember. So let's all say it together. When through intense delusion I wander in samsara, on the luminous path of the all-encompassing knowledge. The all-encompassing knowledge, you could say the wisdom of the Dharma Dhatu, you could say the all-accomplishing wisdom. These are the wisdoms, and they use the word knowledge in this prayer, but you could change it to wisdom, you could change it to what you want. This is the all-embracing wisdom. May blessed Varashana go before me, and the great mother Dadishvari, the queen of space, behind me. Deliver me from the Bardo's dangerous passage and bring me to the perfect awakened state. Now think of that passage. That's all about the Buddha family. And the Buddha family, the minute you think of the Buddha family, it's blue, not ordinary blue, not sky blue, deep, passionate blue, the bluest blue you could imagine. And Varashana is right in the middle of the mandala usually, because it's the all-accomplishing, all-embracing knowledge. Now you can see there, she's the queen of space. So space is the element associated with this family, because it's very open, very spacious, very full of possibility. Let's go on to the next one. When through intense aggression I wander in samsara on the luminous path of the mirror-like knowledge, wisdom you could call it. May blessed Vajrasattva go before me. You can also call him Akshobhya. It's fine, they're both okay. Great Mother Mamaki behind me. Deliver me from the Bardo's dangerous passage and bring me to the perfect awakened state. Now, that's your anger, and that's your mirror-like knowledge of the Vajra family. The Vajra family are white, pure white. And the Vajra family, most people who belong, the element is water, because Vajra people have got amazing intellect. And if they don't use that intellect to humiliate people, then it will be like water turned to ice. It'll be thick ice if they use it like that. So this is your mirror-like wisdom with Vajrasattva and Mamaki, and you are now looking at the Vajra family. Pure white, water is the element, the poison is anger or aggression, and it's mirror-like wisdom. I don't know why they use knowledge in this. I think wisdom's a better translation, but doesn't really matter. They're both the same. Let's go on to the next one. When through intense pride I wander in samsara on the luminous path of the equalizing knowledge, equalizing wisdom, you could call it the wisdom of equality. May blessed Ratnasambhava go before me. Great Mother, Buddha Lochana behind me. Deliver me from the bardo's dangerous passage and bring me to the perfect awakened state. Now here, you've got your beautiful Ratna family. Ratna means jewel, and it's yellow, and it's enriching, it's increasing. Each one's got a beautiful enlightened activity as well. And Ratnasambhava is the Buddha, and Buddha Lochana is that mother, the feminine element that happens. And when people are not looking at equalizing wisdom, they are looking at pride. And so you see this yellow Ratna family with its beautiful wisdom and with its dangerous pride. Help me that I don't go into pride. Next one. When through intense passion, I want you all to say it, I wander in samsara on the luminous path. Now she's called it here investigative knowledge. You can call it, investigative is a really good word for wisdom, but you can also call it discriminating wisdom, because it's here in the lotus family that you learn to discriminate between the relative truth and the ultimate truth and what you have to do in your life, okay? May blessed Amitabha go before me, great Mother Pandaravasini behind me, deliver me from the bardo's dangerous passage and bring me to the perfect awakened state. Now, there's your lotus family. The lotus family is always red. The element is fire. They are passionate. They are communicators. They are perceivers. The element, the skanda of perception comes in here because they have clear perception. But in the perversion, your perception may have a lot of passion and may have a lot of craving and may have a lot of your desires. And you don't fall for that. You're making it clear, okay? And the lotus family, the symbol is the lotus because the lotus grows in mud, yet it is beautiful. We live in samsara, yet we are beautiful when you follow the lotus family, okay? Last one. When through intense envy or jealousy, I wander in samsara on the luminous path of action accomplishing wisdom. I prefer wisdom. You can use knowledge or wisdom. Action accomplishing. You can also call it the wisdom of perfected action. Because in this family, the karma family, they know exactly how to get things done because they don't do things with intellect. It happens through them from their awakened nature. May blessed Amoghasiddhi go before me, great Mother, Samaya Tara behind me, she's green, deliver me from the bardo's dangerous passage and bring me to the perfect awakened state. Now this is called the karma family. It's green, okay? The green can be the envy or the action accomplishing. That green, you have to apply the color in a beautiful way. Now, Samaya Tara, who is green Tara in this instance, she's there, but you also find her in the lotus family. If you look up, if you Google a picture of the lotus family, Tara will be in the lotus family. So this also just shows you not to have anything cut and dry, but to allow yourself to be very, very creative. But here, she is the female Buddha of Amoghasiddhi, and they are the last thing that's called the wisdom of perfected action. They accomplish the most amazing things because it's all done through you. And I'll tell you what the qualities are of the karma family in a moment, okay? Because karma family get things done in the most beautiful way, but they also get very irritated with people who can't, in the perversion, who can't get things done properly. So they can be very condescending in their perversion. And then finally you say, when through the 5 poisons I wander in samsara, on the luminous path of the four knowledges or wisdoms combined. Why four and not five? Because the wisdom of perfected action or action accomplishing is the last wisdom. So you have to get the other four right before you can get to the perfected action. That's why they say of the four wisdoms or knowledges combined. May the victorious ones of the five families go before me, and the great mothers of the five families behind me, and then just go up a bit, Kath. Deliver me from the bardo's dangerous passage, or save me from the bardo's dangerous passage, and bring me to the perfect awakened state. Okay, thanks, Kath, for the moment. Maybe that's actually enough for tonight, but let's see. But can you all understand, if you take that prayer and you say it every day, that is such a good beginning for you. Say it, or every other day. Say it until, like me, you can say it off by heart. So you don't even need to be looking at it. And when I say it, I apply it with all its different aspects so that I'm really saying it with great passion. Because when I come to the bardo, I want to recognize, know straight away. So sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking. And if you saw what I've got here for you, I've got tons and tons and tons. Ask, talk, tell me what you feel. I love to hear your voices because I've been doing a lot of talking. Anyone, ask or say. I can't believe you can't have a million things to say or ask. Because it's a whole new way of looking at life. It's a whole new way, and you need to enter this. So what do you want to ask? Anything. Come on, I'm waiting for you. Ask or comment. How you feel about it is also fine. Yeah, Kati.
So
So
Mel,
I
I don't know
don't know
why
why
there's
there's
an
an
echo.
echo.
Oh, you know why? Because I haven't switched off there. It'll be gone now. Sorry.
Okay, that's
Okay.
much better.
Yeah.
So, at the moment,
Yes.
I'm feeling like I'm pulled more towards the Virachana Buddha family, the blue one with space. And I feel like I'm attracted to that because of how I am at the moment,
Okay.
in that I have more of a tendency to withdraw myself, feeling a bit more spacious or needing more space. But then at other times in my life, when I was jealous, and then there's been other times in my life where I've been greedy, lustful. So
At all of them, basically.
yes,
Oh,
but it
yeah.
changes. So it seems to change. And at the moment, I'm more like
Yes.
Virachana side. So yeah, I suppose
Good
the
observe.
question, yeah.
A good observing, because the question for you, like, I'm sorry that Avril asked me the question, can you belong to two? You belong to all of them. They're all your own inner selves, okay? You belong to all of them, and there may be different times in your life, when you feel one very, very strongly. But the thing is, it's such an interesting thing because it doesn't matter if you're needing different things, you can apply all of them to your life. But in the end, when you know the way of reality that makes sense for you, when I looked at Guru Rinpoche and I heard this voice going, the first time I saw the picture of him, the look-alike picture, he said, it looks like me, the picture. When I saw that the very first time, I was looking at the picture, it was in this book, and I went, I'm back. But aloud, I said, I'm back. Okay. And then after that, because the human mind was going like, who said that? Who said I'm back? I said it, but what do I mean I'm back? I was back. on that day when I saw that picture, I was back. Okay. And I knew this is the family, all the work that I've done over all the years. When I look at Irene Rockwell's qualities, those are the qualities I was always developing. And I hope now they're more refined than they were at an earlier stage, because I'm sure they had a lot of ego in them when I used to give all these talks all over the place and everything. And I probably really had to make myself much more humble, and now I really feel that absolute. I mean, I listen to these wonderful teachers with awe, and I'm, how can you ever have anything like think you're a good teacher or you're a good something? Doesn't work anymore. So I hope that the qualities have been refined. So it doesn't mean you may not have times when you feel spacious or when you feel more whatever, that's fine. But in the end, you will see, especially as you get older, where you fit the most and which family makes a lot of sense to you. You just relate to them. It's absolutely amazing, And when the people in that retreat that I did, as soon as they went in the mandala, about 80% of them danced exactly where they were. You there, Eugene, that time when I did that retreat? No, but about 80% of them danced into the space where they belong. And I just have this vision of this one guy, if you can remember this one guy. Now, he's really a funny guy, but very much into his own things and everything. He just walked into the mandala and went to Varashana's corner, he just went there absolutely automatically, he just knew. He didn't know before he went into the mandala, but the minute he went in, he felt it. You have to feel this. You have to feel it. Where do I belong? Because people belong with different things. If you're a very generous homemaker, earthy kind of person, you probably really do belong to the Ratner family. And if you I mean, she gives so many beautiful examples and everything. And I mean, there's symbols, there are all kinds of things that are so exquisite, that you do. But like with the Vajra family, the Vajra is the thunderbolt, okay, but it says the Vajra family is associated with the element of water. When water is frozen into ice, it becomes hard and sharp, as clear and sparkling as a cut diamond. But diamond, like intelligence, to achieve its full potential, must also be fluid and adaptable as flowing water in its natural state. So when the mind becomes hard and hostile and intellectual, the cool, refreshing quality of water has turned into icy coldness. Very interesting, because a Vajra person, the symbols are thunderbolt, and they can cut through you. They can cut through you with their intellect, okay? And they can humiliate you, and they can give you their, that's not what the Vajra family, that's the perversion of that quality. Can you all understand? Linz, you are understanding this, hey? Can you apply this in your work? Because I think it's very important for you. Because when you see the families, and also when you're looking at another person, you will start to discern which family they belong to. And that helps you, how you handle them. It's amazing. It really helps you how you handle them. And you can be an accomplished scholar, but you might really not have the compassion with it. But the Vajra family is precise, but it's also got that compassion in it. If you're more of an intellectual kind of person. So Irene Rockwell says, that Vajra family people make good diplomats, scientists, surgeons, watchmakers, engineers, computer programming. Those are the kind of things you would choose if you were from the Vajra family. If you're from the Lotus family, you'll definitely be a therapist, a counselor. You'll have to be that, because that's what they have. So what I've got is I've got a whole big list when I looked up in all my notes and everything for each family. So I can give you all the perversions, I can give you all the qualities and everything, but I want you to just feel this. Anyone else got any question or comment? And we're going to do a meditation, and I'll take you into 2 of the families, and then we can do more next week. Anyone? Anything?
Just remember you at Groot Mariku, like talking about the hell realms and and Melanie was trying to get us to act, but then she was acting more than everybody, and I think everybody was like so. When you did the hungry ghost, I think everybody was so shocked. They're like, "What?"
It's the only way you can do it. But you see, each of the families are associated with one of the realms in samsara, because it's so fascinating. Each of the poisons, now there's 6 realms of samsara, and actually the human realm and the hungry ghost really go together. So you've got 5 realms. So the realms of samsara are associated with the negative emotions. And so each family has a realm that they are associated with, of course, which you purify yourself of, because you've got to get rid of that realm. You don't want to be in a God realm. You don't want to be in a hungry ghost realm. You don't want to be in a hell realm. And so, each family is associated with one of the realms, and it's absolutely amazing how it works like that, Iga, you look absolutely, I don't know, engrossed, intrigued. I don't know what the word is. I can see that your mind is going 50 to the dozen. Interesting. And Kerry, you can use this amazingly in your work, It's like a really, really important thing. Honestly, it is. Let's do meditation if you don't want to ask. Look, I understand it takes time, but Irene Rockwell even gives you the style of dress. She gives you the areas of the body, the sense perception, the health problems, the element, the season, the time of day that you'd be most happy in. Like some people go, I'm a night person. Some people go, I'm an early morning person. It's fascinating because there's so much, that you've got to learn about all of this. It's really very, very deep and very, I'll look while we do a meditation for that thing. I don't know. Oh, I've got it. Kerry, here's your thing. Oh, it is called Irene Rockwell, The 5 Wisdom Energies. And it's called A Buddhist Way of Understanding Personalities, Emotions, and Relationships. And then, of course, the other one, which is really, really good, is Luminous Emptiness by Francesca Fremantle. And hers is more the Bardo prayer, okay? The Bardo situation. But those are very good books to read if you want to start exploring. And then you make your own notes. Like, you can see how I've made notes. Like this is my Akshobhya, my Vajrasattva, my Vajra family. This is my Ratna family. I've got notes on everything in the family, and I've studied them. This is the Amitabha family, the Lotus family. This is the Karma family. So I've got these details, and then the Buddha family. I've got these detailed notes so that I can really, really, really look and read and study and understand. And then I start to look at people. Where do they come from? What are they? You dance with the energies of life. And let's do a little meditation, everybody. Put that on for the meditation. And maybe you want to think about things and maybe you want to text me. I'm very happy. I just do audios back to you. As long as you don't send me a 3-minute message, I can send you one back. But otherwise, I haven't got time to listen. So come into your beautiful posture. We haven't got long, but we'll just do a little today. And then we'll carry on next week. I want you to just come to this present moment and you're breathing in and you're breathing out and you're coming to this moment and you're really quite excited because you actually realize, oh my goodness, I don't really belong to the family that I was born into. And I don't belong to the family I was born into. I never felt a great belonging. But now I really want to search and find what it is like. So I want you all to relax your physical bodies and take your mind right into the mandala. And imagine the mandala like a crystal, that when you take a crystal up into the sun and you turn it in many different ways, you see all the different colors of the rainbow coming off the crystal. And I want you just to watch the crystal. You're in the mandala, you're inside the crystal, but you're watching as it reflects all the different colors, the 5 different colors of the rainbow. And I want you to walk right into the mandala. And tonight, we'll visit the Buddha family. The Buddha family of Vairashana and Akadisvari. That's the female and the male. So we're going into the beautiful blue Buddha family of the all-accomplishing primordial consciousness or wisdom. I want you to walk into this blue part of the mandala and just allow yourself to walk around. The element is space, so there is lots and lots of space for everything. You feel wide open. You feel like there's a place for everything to happen in there. It's blue in color. And the skanda to be purified is your form. So what happens is, once you enter that family, this body which is decrepit and aging suddenly becomes a Vajra body which is youthful for always. So the skanda to be purified is your form. The element is space. And the poison is ignorance and delusion. So you just ponder all the deluded stories you've told yourself. And how many times you've ignored the truth and gone what you thought everybody else would want. And in this beautiful, pure form, whose symbol is a wheel, open, spacious, blue, everything can fit into it in a beautiful, beautiful way. space for everything. And the seed syllable, each one's got a seed syllable, is Om. Om. You can be as creative as you want. There's space for everything in this part of the mandala. And the enlightened activity of this family is pacifying. So those that belong to this family are always trying to pacify people and make them feel comfortable and really embrace them and give them space to be just as they are. But the perversion of this family can be that they become too spaced out, too isolated, too uninvolved with people, too out in a separate place. And then they can use that deluding and that ignorance. So slowly, let's just move to one more place and then we'll end for tonight. From that Vajra family, let's move to, from that Buddha family, let's move to the Vajra family, pure white. And each one has got its place on the mandala. The Buddha, the male Buddha, is Akshobhya or Vajrasattva. And the Vajra family is white in color. And water is its real element. And the water can be poured right over you, cleansing all your stains. And the skandha associated with this family is consciousness. So when you are able to purify that ordinary consciousness, all the negativity goes away, all the karma goes away. And the poison is anger, hatred, grudges, disappointments, all those negative things of aggression. It's in the east of the mandala. And the symbol is the Vajra. And the seed syllable is Om. So the two mantras of those two families, the first one of the Buddha family is Om Varashana Om, Om Varashana Om, Om Varashana Om, Om Varashana Om. Flood us with that beautiful, spacious, all-accomplishing wisdom or primordial consciousness, and clear all the ignorance and delusion. Om Varashana Om, Om Varashana Om. And the next one is the beautiful Vajra family with the poison anger, and the mantra is Om Akshobhya Hung, Om Akshobhya Hung, Om Akshobhya Hum. I say them all the time. Om Akshobhya Hum. Say them. Om Akshobhya Hum. Om Akshobhya Hum. Flood us with your mirror-like wisdom and clear all the anger and hatred and poisons and grudges and aggression and everything else. So we go from family to family. And maybe you might even want me to tell you a little bit about relationships between people in the families. But I want you, when you go to sleep tonight, to just dream of the families. Dream about them. And actually allow yourself and take a crystal and hold it up to the light. And as you turn it, you'll see all the beautiful 5 colors. And you just related in a beautiful way of seeing your own 5 dimensions of being. I think that's more than enough for you, and we'll carry on next week. But do you understand what I'm saying about this? Can you, don't worry if you haven't got all the facts. It doesn't matter, because you'll get them as you say the prayers. Next week we'll do Patrul Rinpoche's prayer, which also helps a lot to get you a real understanding of everything. So we'll say that next week. But the thing is that slowly, if you have the prayers in your prayer book and you say them, you'll see that you begin to experience and realize them and understand them, and then start to see where you are. And I'll try next week and give you some of the actual qualities as Irina Rockwell and Francesca Fremantle give them, so that you can understand where you relate, and you'll see if they're your qualities. But let's dedicate, Kathy, and then anyone wants to ask a question, I'm very happy to answer you. So let's dedicate to all the terrible things going on in the world, and the hostile and the wars and the terror, and may there be some benefit of the truth of what people are going through. Through this merit, may all beings attain omniscience, may all obscurations fall away from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara, may all beings be freed. Sonam die tamche zipane topne nepe dranam pamshene jegana chi balak dopaye sipe sole doa do warsho.